Every first and third Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Apostle Lee and Dr. Kimberly bring healing to your mind. Streaming on the Crew Podcast Network, YouTube, Facebook, Kick, and Twitch. Faith, truth, and real relationships. This is what your spirit's been missing. Let the healing begin. Let the truth be told. Let faith rise up and restore your soul. His and her perspective. Wisdom from above. Talking life, pain, family, and love. It's time. It's time. Oh, it's time. Oh, let the healing begin. Let the healing begin. Apostle Lee brings the word with grace, biblical truth for the trials we face. Dr. Kimberly speaks life to the heart, restoring the broken, a brand new start. From Tallahassee roots to the world online, they're sharing real talk, one soul at a time. Spiritual growth and practical advice, helping you heal and walk in new life. Relationships, forgiveness, family and faith. Real life challenges covered by grace. Raw truth, real answers, healing within. Come to the table, let the healing begin. Let the truth be told. Oh, let's learn perspective. Wisdom from above. Life, pain, family, and love. It's time. It's time. It's time. It's time.
Hey, good evening. Come to the table and let the healing begin. We want to welcome you tonight to Let the Healing Begin. We are your hosts
Lee?
and Kimberly Thomas, and we are so glad to be here with you tonight. We want to thank you for joining us for another episode of Let the Healing Begin. Before we begin tonight, we want to share with those of you who may be first time viewers of what Let the Healing Begin consists of. We talk about sex, we talk about marriage, we talk about loss, we talk about intimacy, and most of all, we talk about the hard topics that most relationships don't want to talk about, but we're here for it. Let me put this disclaimer out there. We do not claim to have the monopoly on this thing called marriage, nor have we mastered marriage. But what we do have is a marriage. We have years, we have experience, and most of all, we have a mandate from God to share our experiences with those of you that are trying to navigate through this journey that we call life in this way of marriage. So, as we start off tonight, we always have topics that we like to share and just have a little open dialogue and talk. We want y'all to talk back to us tonight. We want to thank you for joining us and we welcome your comments. So, we're going to get started tonight. And tonight, we're going to talk about something that is of vital importance in any relationship, in any marriage. The thing that we are going to talk about tonight is truth and transparency. One thing that I want us to realize and understand is that healing does not happen by accident.
No, it doesn't.
It does not. It does not happen by accident. The thing is that it happens and it has to happen on purpose and intentionally. And it begins with truth and transparency. So we're going to get started tonight. Do you want to open us up with our topic tonight or
No, I do not. Knew you was gonna say that.
okay, well, you funny. You got jokes tonight, but okay. All right. So Truth and transparency. One of the things that I really want us to talk about is the fact that in order for healing to take place is that it cannot be just a surface change. It can't be a surface change. So many times we have deep embedded hurt, deep embedded feelings. We got things that we have brought over from other relationships that we have never ever dealt with. We have not unpacked those things, but we continue on in life. So basically, what we have done is we have suppressed a whole lot of things. We have a whole lot of baggage. When we first began our episodes, we talked about what do you bring, what do you bring to your relationships? What did you bring to your marriage? And we found out that on both sides, male and female, we have baggage and we brought a lot of baggage with us. So I want to talk about or deal with a little bit tonight just on the onset of the fact that it cannot be a surface change. We say we want to heal. We say, we want to be made whole, but we don't really want to allow the healing to begin, because sometimes you may fall and you get a scab,
Mm-hmm.
and you look at it and you say, oh well, it's healing, but
Yeah,
then
okay.
you look at it again and you be like, well, it's something is not looking right. So sometimes that scab gets pulled off, and when that scab gets pulled off, it hurts for it to be opened up again.
So basically, what you're doing, you're opening up a wound that's truly actually healing, but what you're really seeing is new life. And in order to have that new life, you first got to let that old life die.
Yes.
And once you let that old life die, there can be life. You can begin to have healing. But you got to start somewhere, and you have to start with truth. And if you can be true to yourself, then you can be true to somebody else. But it's just like trying to love someone. If you don't love yourself completely, how can you love somebody else? If you don't be totally honest with yourself, how can you be honest with somebody else? We have, uh, for lack of better words, a misunderstanding of who we are.
Mhm.
Because I'll look at you, and because I don't want to hurt your feelings or make you feel some type of way,
Yeah.
I'll mask what I want to say, or I'll suppress that very thing that aggravates me to the utmost. It'll get on what you call, one of my labels, my reserve nerve. And then one day you come in and, not knowing, unbeknownst to what I got going on, you say something or do something, and then I blow up. And then you be like, what is the matter? Because I
Mhm.
hadn't healed from that thing that you brought to the table at that time.
Right. And that's one thing that you said. You brought out a very good point about loving yourself.
Yes, I did.
And you can't love you if you don't love yourself, you can't love somebody else. And so many times life has happened to us, and the kids say life be life, and then sometimes
Hmm.
life really has life a lot
In
for
your life.
for us. We've gone through things all through our life, through our upbringing, as young people, and into our teen years and our young adult years, and even sometimes into our adult years, that we have never fully unpacked. We have just packed stuff on top of it. We have suppressed it and we have moved on because we don't allow ourselves to heal properly. Sometimes we have just, okay, well, I fell down, I got up, I dust myself off, and I had to keep moving. I had to keep it pushing. I could not allow myself or give myself enough time to heal. And one of the things that we have learned over the years is that these things that we have suppressed,
Hmm.
they are triggers, because when something else happens in your life, that thing resurfaces. So that's just like Now, this one thing that I may have hidden or I may have had buried in me since I was 10 years old. Now, something that you have said has woken that thing up in me. And that's like I'm pulling the scab, a 40-year-old scab, off of this thing.
Okay, and that's good that you say that. You pulling the scab off that I was unaware of. So at that point, you didn't heal from falling, and then you didn't give yourself to time to process the
Mm-hmm.
fall. A lot of times we immediately move into the next phase.
Yes.
We go by what we heard as we were growing up. Get up, brush yourself off, and keep it moving. But if you don't process the fall, you're going to do it again. But this time it may be worse.
Yes.
So at that point, you're not loving you. You're not being truthful to you. So how can you expect this relationship to work because you're not being truthful to me?
Right.
If you're hurt, you're just hurt. Look, I'm not
Exactly.
ready yet. And
Exactly.
in the event that the individual that you're talking to is trying to push it, then that should be an indication. That's that first sign. That should be a no. I'm done. I can't do that
Right.
because you're trying to push me faster than I want to go.
Right.
And see, you got to learn me just like I got to learn you. So then, therefore, we can grow together.
Yes. Yes.
So, how is there healing if I never took the time to allow myself to heal completely? I
Right.
was looking at something earlier when it said, a lady said, I went through some things and I hadn't had time to process it. And he said, well, we can do this, we can do that. And she said, well, I'm not ready. He said, but what you're waiting on, you can't give anyone a certain time or a limit on how long you're supposed to do one thing or the
Right.
other.
Right. And that's the thing, and so many times, even with grief, people deal with grief and handle grief differently. And that's the other thing that we try to put a time limit on. We try to rush people through that grieving process. And that's another thing that we have to understand, that even in that, it cannot be a surface, it cannot be a surface
Mm.
change. It cannot be a change that's only temporary, or a change that's situational. Because if you are not completely healed and made whole, as Lee said, it'll resurface. And then, just to touch a little bit on that about the grief process, as he was saying, when you think about the fact that you're pushing people, and you're pushing them to try to get through something faster than what they are willing or
Mm-hmm.
able to do. Even in our case, some of you may know and others of you may not know, but we had a daughter. She would be 22 years old. And one of the things that I had to realize, was that we grieve differently. And a lot of times when things happen in your life, and it may not be losing a child, it may be losing a job, it may be losing another family member, or whatever that enters into your life, the thing that happens is you're grieving over that. And everybody grieves differently. And we had a conversation about this, I think maybe just a couple of weeks ago, about the grieving process.
Mm-hmm.
For me, as the mother, the one who carried the child, the one who was there, the one who left home full and came home empty. We had we had clothes and all types of things for Kaylee. And for me to start my healing process, it was move these things out, get these things, move them out, give them away, do something with them. And then I realized after the fact that I did not give Lee the time to really heal, or even ask him about his healing process, or where he was in his grieving process. It was a thing about one day he came home and he realized that some of the things that were in a closet that belonged to her had disappeared. They weren't there anymore. I didn't drastically take them out. I took them out little by little. And maybe I took them out little by little as not to really bring awareness to him to say, "Hey, these things are moving out of here." I don't know. I can't say that that was my reasoning. But one thing that I do know is that when we actually began to have a conversation, his conversation was like, "Where's my baby's things?" And I said, "Oh, well, I've been giving them to so and so. So and so was having a baby, and I thought that, they could use this or they could use that." And his thing was, why? Don't take her things away, don't move her things. And so this was the thing that I had to come to the realization of the fact that, first of all, in that healing process, it was a surface. It was a surface healing for me. It was a surface change for me. Out of sight, out of mind. Not coming home every day to see the clothing there, not coming home every day to see the baby things there. So now, if I'm not visually seeing these things, okay, I'm telling myself and deceiving myself that, oh yeah, I'm healing. I'm healing. I'm healing from this. But 22 years later, and just having conversations, that there are still some places that are raw. There's still some places in our lives that are affected because of this process. So you cannot rush anybody through their process. And that's what we have to understand, even in relationships. We have to be totally honest. We got to be truthful, and we have to be transparent.
In that, about the clothing and all that, that's one segment of it. But let's get back to the relationship side of it. It takes two, and in order for us as a whole to heal, we're talking about
Right.
healing tonight.
Right.
For us to heal, we have to really look at each other
Mm.
and recognize that it wasn't just you.
Right.
It's not just me. You have feelings, I have feelings. Our feelings are different.
Yes.
And then we have feelings for each other. So therefore, at that point, you have to learn to tell the truth and trust the feelings that you have to work.
Mhm.
Because anything that you force to work ain't gonna work.
Right.
If you tell the truth, then I know what you're feeling. I'm sitting here, and as she said about the clothes, you go through the whole term, and for 9 months or longer, you looking at, I can't wait to see my baby in this. I want to see what she looks like. Okay, we go through all that, and you won't see that, but you saw her. Okay, God did what He done, and it was for a reason. It birthed out the ministry, but also, what did it do for us as a whole? How do you heal? And when you're together and you become one, you're supposed to work as one. Two spirits, one soul. We have to come together on a lot of things, but before all that, you got to get you together.
Yes.
You got to heal. I got to heal. I got to tell myself the truth. I'm not ready. I don't want this. I don't need this. I can't handle this right now. See, I can sit there and say, oh no, I'm good. I'm a man. I got this. We good. You good. You good. But I'm lying to you, and I'm lying to myself because I'm being untruthful about how I truly feel. Same thing with life itself, with your own self. In relationships, you've had relationships outside the person that you're with. And statistically, you fall in love about 19 good times. And then I'm just, I deal with
19 good
numbers.
times. Okay.
I deal with numbers. So about 19 good times you done fell in love, but it's been one or two that was really one of those moments where you don't never forget. Okay, he wore this cologne. This one drove that car. We did these things. Those were special moments in your life. And then you got with the person that, oh, this the one. We married. But then when you see that other was the one, it was the one for that moment. And you said, well, I'm done with that. I don't have a problem with that. And All of a sudden you see them. Now you mad at this person you ain't seen for 10 years. You ain't healed from that situation. Why are you mad? And
Right.
then the person you with looking at you cross-eyed and crazy.
Right. Why
What,
you
what
mad?
is your problem? You
Why
with
you mad?
me.
Yes.
Yeah, but I see you did heal from that. That's what I meant
Mhm.
about moving too fast and moving out of season. Give yourself an opportunity to live. Give yourself an opportunity to digress from what you was in so you can move on to the next thing. Then you can be honest with yourself and be honest with the person that you with.
Yes.
Then because you gotta heal. And people move too fast. You know, we live in what you call a microwave society and everybody want it right now. But right now get you right now to where you at in that
Yes.
relationship that you in that you wonder where did we go wrong?
Mhm. Yeah, we ask ourselves that, where did we go wrong? And the thing about it is, when we find ourselves in this situation and we're saying, where did we go wrong? We went wrong because we took the road to a quick fix.
Mm.
We took the road to a quick fix. We wanted to fix this thing quickly. Sometimes, you trip and you look around and see who looking. You try to regroup real quick and hope nobody saw you stumble. But then it's like, here we are in this place, and now we're in this place, and we have chosen the route of a quick fix instead of sitting down, taking the time to really get healed, taking the time to really talk about it, to talk ourselves through it. We want the quick fix. So now that we have gotten into this place, we have to realize that there is no quick fix in healing. There's no quick fix there. There is not this thing that you can snap your fingers and it's going to change overnight, or you go in there and you press the setting that says 1 minute on the microwave, and in 1 minute it's done. That's not how healing works. It takes time. It takes time for us to heal. And so the thing that we have to understand is that it's going to take lifestyle changes.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make some modifications in your lifestyle when you really and truly want to heal. And that means that
Oh,
you got to be truthful
and
about what
transparent.
what hurts. This hurts.
You said something a moment ago. You have to be truthful and you gotta want to change. So you can't just make anybody change. A lot of people are moved because they don't want to lose this person or this relationship.
Right.
But you got to realize both of you got to want the same thing. Most of all, you got to want change for yourself.
Yes.
You got to want healing for yourself.
Yes.
I'm not gonna go along to get along. But a lot of people do so.
Mm-hmm.
I see this individual, I want to be with them and we good. So I'm just gonna suppress those feelings back there. And then you build a life. And then miraculously, whenever you feel like I'm beginning to breathe, this old person pop up. Your anger, your blood gets to boiling, and then the person you with wonder, wait a minute, why is this happening? You said, and see that's the part that wash your face right there.
Yeah.
You said this, that, and the third. Well, no, it ain't that. See, you don't understand. I do understand. I'm looking right at you clearly.
Right.
Something is still there. And that meant you wasn't fair to yourself, nor were you fair to me. Because now we got all this time in and you still stuck.
Yes. Yes. And that is so true. That's so true. I saw a comment that healing is a journey within itself, and that is absolutely true. And the thing that we have to understand is, like you said, we build relationships and we build them around lies
Ah,
because we have not been honest with ourselves,
that's
first of
it
all,
right there.
to
That's
say
it.
that I'm really not ready. And it's okay not to be ready. It's okay for you not to jump from one bed to the next bed to the next bed to the next bed. It's okay for you not to jump out of one car to the next car. It's okay for you not to jump out of one relationship into another relationship just because you want to have the company or you want to have somebody. I hear so many people that that stand in offices within ministry, and they say, they use this scripture, it's better to marry
Married.
than to burn. No, what's best is that you sit down and get your flesh under subjection. That's what's best. So many times we find ourselves in these situations and we build lives around lies because we don't know how to call our flesh under subjection. We just want somebody. Somebody, anybody, everybody, lottie dottie, and whoever. We just want to have somebody, but we have to understand when we do that, we are not only affecting us, but we're affecting the person that we are bringing into our life of lies because we're not totally healed. We still have feelings for whomever he or she may be. We're still dragging them around, and Lord forbid if they were to pop up, what is going to be our reaction if the three of us find ourselves in the same place?
Wow.
What's going to happen?
But see, even in that right there, even after you get out of the relationship, it's okay to date. It's okay. Remember to go out to dinner. I went out Monday, I went out Tuesday, and I went out Wednesday. And it was 3 different people. Get delivered from people. Look, I'm no longer with anybody. They asked me, I accepted. I went to dinner 3 different days. I had 3 different conversations. I had 3 different nice times.
Because she was greedy.
Yeah, because I was greedy. Yeah, I was greedy for what? Company. I didn't lie to myself. I enjoyed myself. I didn't cross the line. I told you what the truth was. But in the midst of that, that was also healing.
Yes, but
Because
be
people,
sure, you're telling the truth though, because everybody don't tell the truth.
we just always talk about the truth.
Right,
Tell
everybody
the
don't
truth.
tell the truth.
But see, that's the key. Tell the truth. Be true to yourself.
Yes.
Look, I just got out of a relationship, and I'm not looking for a relationship. Now, because you want to take me out to dinner and think that your conversation is going to be so great that I'm going to change my mind. Remember now, I told you no. But if you want to take me, I'm going to dinner. And guess what? I'm going to meet you there.
Right.
I'm going to meet you there.
Right.
See, it's a way to do anything. You got boundaries and you have control.
Yes.
But because you got to understand, it's me and my heart. Not you and yours, because you got yours together, because your heart look or your mouth say you want to be with me, but that ain't where I'm trying to be. Right now, I just want conversation, if that. But more than that, I want to get healed for what had me all twisted up. I was listening one day, little eardrop, you understand what I'm saying? The ladies go out and they was talking about the fireman. Something I said, oh my goodness, not the fireman. I said, okay, but they told the whole truth. You know, they were looking for truth. And they got the whole truth. And if you don't tell the truth, how can you help somebody else? See, because you'll get it confused, thinking that this is it and that ain't it. See, some things you hear, even when you're in ministry, you go to a different church and you heard a word you never heard before, and the first thing you do, oh, I need to go over there because it's good over there. No, that was a momentary fix. God just said, put that in your arsenal. Yes. Don't just run over there because it sounds good. Put it in your arsenal. That's something you can keep in your personal package. You know what I mean? You got to know the difference.
Yes, and we definitely have to take it slow. We have to take it slow because when we speed, we miss things.
Speed kills. You know,
when you're going fast, there are things that you miss on the road, and you may travel this road every single day. But when you are speeding, there's so much that you miss. But when you slow down, you be like, oh, I never saw that house there. When they put that house there? Oh, I didn't know that was over there. When they put, is that new? No, that's been there the 50 years that you've been riding down this road. But because you're always in a hurry, because you're always going fast, you miss it. So we must take it slow because when you are speeding, you missing signs. You missing those red flags. You missing those things. And sometimes your mind will deceive you because of what your flesh desires. So you will dismiss things. You will see it, but then you be like, no, that wasn't the case, and so many people be like, well, we was together, and all of a sudden we got in this thing about 6 months, and he just turned out to be this, or she turned out to be that. Baby, you saw that on date number 5.
It took that long?
But because of what you desired,
Now we get to the meat.
you dismissed it.
I
So
can
it's
fix
not
it.
that, right. It's not that you didn't see it. It's not that it took you 6 months to see it. You saw it. But because of you wanted what you wanted, you figured you
I,
could fix
I can
it.
fix this. I can change them. One thing about an individual, if you pass 21 years of age and you've been doing the same thing, you ain't finna do no change unless you want to change. There's no fixing a grown person. They are who they are. Now we're gonna sit down, we're gonna have a conversation. I like this, I like that. My moods are like this and my moods are like that. Don't come in there with no mash. You're too old for that. And the way that time life is now, just tell the truth.
Yes.
Look, I'm a cranky person. I don't get up early. You get up early. I
Yes.
like to do this and I like things a certain way. I do everything this way. Bum, 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 bum. Okay, sometimes we can switch it up a little bit, but love me for who I am, not who you want me to be.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
not your perfect fix.
Mm-hmm.
Fix you.
Mm-hmm.
Allow yourself
Yes.
to see what you see and then talk about that. Don't think about we together, oh, he okay, we've been dating and we having fun and stuff. You come by and everything you was Mr. Clean. Then one day you came by, you was Mr. Dirty, and I let you sit on my couch. No, I don't let you sit on my couch like that. Oh, that was just that one time. That wouldn't have been that time.
No, 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 no.
Because I don't like that.
Yes.
Tell the truth. Don't try to sugarcoat nothing, and then when they leave you brushing the couch off, oh man. No, not the oh man. The only way that you don't allow anything to get started is don't let it get started.
Yeah.
Tell the truth. Be true to
Exactly.
thyself.
Yes. And that is so true. When we allow ourselves to heal, it prevents us from dragging those dead man bones around. It prevents us from, pulling our past with us, because when we find ourselves in that situation, we will then begin to heal. And once we've healed, we can move forward. And yeah, when we look at the red flags are there, but we ignore them.
Correct.
Ignore them because we lonely. So many people, they say that, people crazy. I went out with this person, and oh, I thought that they was good. We talked, and then when we got together, they was just crazy. No, they was crazy from the beginning.
Beginning,
They was crazy from the beginning, and you knew they was crazy because they showed you the signs that they was crazy.
One thing I realized in this journey that, statistically, they say 90 days you'll know anybody. But
Yeah.
the problem with statistics are this: everybody can read them. So they've learned how to curve it. Sometimes they take 2, 3 years, and all of a sudden, who are you? That's the person I've been the whole time. My question to you is, did you ask questions? The only question that was a dumb question was the one you didn't ask. Because you know what, you have a heart, you have a mind, and your eyes do work. Ask the question that you are curious about. If your mind told you to ask this, whatever the question may be, ask it. And while you ask them, look them dead in the eyes so you can see the reaction that you get. Because you know what? If you ask me something that I don't want you to know, you get this
Right.
see, because you can't think quick enough to suppress what they trying to say. No, man, I just straight up. No, I ain't doing it. I just don't do that. So therefore, you're being truthful, and you're giving this individual an opportunity to say, "Oh, I can deal with that, or I can learn to deal with that, or I just ain't dealing with that." Period.
Exactly. And that's the thing, when we're truthful and transparent, because one of the things that, we need to, in order for us to heal, we don't want to cause anybody else harm. So we need to heal and not be in a place to where even though we're lonely, we're leading people on. Because there are so many people, you may have somebody that really, really likes you. They've been digging you for all this time, and you know this. And so now that you're broken and you're in this place, okay, well, this is my opportunity to use them to get whatever I can get out of them or what have you, because that's the mentality of a lot of people. One of the things that I have found, there are women that like cute boys. They like the cutie guys. They like those guys that, they so prim and proper. And then there are others of us that like roughnecks. So, why would you mess with somebody's head and lead somebody on instead of being truthful and transparent? Hey, this is not really going to go anywhere. Yes, I'll go out with you, I'll go on a date with you or whatever, but I'm in this situation right now. I'm trying to get myself together. But don't try to use somebody to fill a void in your life because you're in the process of you're trying to heal, but then you're going to drag them on until the roughneck comes. Don't do that.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that. Be truthful and be
Mm.
transparent. Be totally honest about where you are and what you like, because so many times, we have our types.
You do?
We have our
You got a type, do you?
we have our types. And the thing is, you know that, okay, yeah, he's cute, he's this, he's that, but he's just really not my type. He's not the one. He's not my type. This is not the person that I would choose. I gotta have somebody that's a roughneck, because if I don't have a roughneck, I'm gonna run over them just because of who I am. And see, these are the things that we have to be honest with ourselves, because you know that if you don't have this type of person, you got this type of person in your life, if they cute and soft, you're gonna run over these people. Leave them people alone. Leave them alone. Just don't drag somebody in to drag them down.
Mm. So
Don't
we,
do that.
so if we're not going down the same road, let's not do this. But we oftentimes do that. Well, no, I never did that part right there. I just told the truth. See, because I wasn't a real good liar, so I just told the whole truth.
Exactly.
And people like me a lot because people feel like they could change me. Oh no, I can fix that. And I'm looking like you finna get you a real headache. Cause I'm not finna change.
Right.
I told you what it was from the get go one. Now you upset, looking cross-eyed and crazy, and I told you. See, when a person tell you something, believe what they're telling you now,
Yes.
and also believe what you see. Don't think that you can change them to fit your character, or you can fit it to make this work because we look good together and we could do this.
Yes.
Remember
Yes.
one thing: out of all that we were talking about, those was your thoughts.
Exactly.
That wasn't we or our thoughts. That
Yes.
was your thoughts. So when it don't work, don't get mad at me.
Yes. And Sherry brought up a very good point. Ask God. Ask God, because what we want may not be what He has for us, and a lot of times it's not. It's not what He has for us. We have our desires, and what we desire is more than likely not what we need, as Sherry stated, and that's the thing, because just looking back over our history and over our life, I didn't like you.
At all.
I
See, this
really
is what happened,
I
when
really
when
didn't.
you get
He
somebody.
was not. He was not my choice. He was not. He was not my type at the time. And I'm like, I I just really did not like him, and it was the appearance. It had nothing to do with him, because I never even gave him an opportunity to try to get to know him. All I knew is that he was dirty, and not dirty in the sense of nasty dirty, but he was dirty because of the work that he did. And every time he would show up at my job, he would just be dirty. He all clayed up and looked like he been wallowing in the ditch
I
somewhere.
was.
And he really was. But that was just not my type at the time. And I'm saying, no, leave me alone. And I was like, he was a stalker. That's why I said, you a stalker. He used to bring his brother and all the people that used to work with him. They would sit outside my job and be watching me and all kinds of stuff. And I'm like, go somewhere with your dirty old self. And I labeled him as the dirty old man.
Mhm.
Not that he is that much older than me, because I know a lot of y'all think that I'm a baby. Because people always say, "Oh, he got that little young girl, baby." I am not a young girl. Okay, we're gonna leave it right there. I just had a birthday last weekend, and I am not a young girl. I am well over 50 years old. God has preserved me, and I thank God for that. But he was not my type. He
See,
was not it, but God knew what I needed. Even though he would come and he would tell me, "Girl, you looking at your husband?" I'd be like, "Whatever." No, no, I'm not. And you can take your dirty old self and go on somewhere. And so, but the thing is, God knows what we need. He
see,
knows what we need. We
God
don't.
knew and I knew. I told her what I knew. And now you see, 30 some years later, what it is.
Yeah.
Sometimes, the elevator don't leave bottom floor too fast.
You know what I'm talking
And that's what it
Whatever.
is. But
Whatever.
that's the thing. If you don't pursue what you desire and find out that it's for real you, then how are you gonna ever know? Because see, out of all the laughing with it, this is what I said. I said, I tell you what, I clean up really well. I said, now if I come here and you don't know who I am, just go out with me. And if you don't like me or the conversation or whatever, I'm good. She said, okay, we did that. You see what I tried to tell her? She recognized. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have a thought in our mind of
Yes.
or a picture of what we think
Yes.
our Boaz is. And your Boaz is not the Boaz that you need for you. Because everything you want been walking by you the whole time and you treated them like nothing. And then later on down the line, it's just like a flower. Finally it grew and it developed, and you're like, oh, that is beautiful. But now I missed it. I missed the
Yes.
mark.
Yes.
Sometimes take the opportunity, like I say, be careful how you entertain strangers. It's a lot of times when you go out and talk to people, you don't even know who they are till they open their mouth because of their appearance or just their environment. And a lot of them are highly educated if you take the time
Yeah.
to look and then look at me now. See? But
Yeah.
but the thing
You
of it
cleaned up
is,
well.
you didn't give yourself an opportunity
True.
to see what it was. You know, be true to yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Treat yourself. You know, I try to
Yes.
tell her that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
And being honest, because I've done it a lot. I've had a lot of girls or women like me, and I just look and I like that is not it. And then when I got an opportunity to really see them again, I'm like, who is that? And then I said, really? Wow. But I couldn't see that. But see, that's not what Lee wanted. That's the thing. I never got married till I knew that was the one for me. See, that was the difference. I always knew what I wanted, but I learned to ask God along the way, Lord, give me what I need. You know what I desire. You know what I like, but give me what I need. Because, see, what you going to give me going to last. Because everything I've been picking, it's just like a momentary fix. It's like a little Band-Aid. You work today and it's off tomorrow. But, see, we go through life, and life be life. And then life becomes reality. Now you're living.
Yes. And so that's why it is so important for us to be truthful. Be true to yourself, first of all.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be honest with you. Because if you lie to you, you'll lie to me and anybody else. And so many times we do. We lie to ourselves because we'll tell ourselves that we're okay. I'm good. And that's the first thing that, when you're hurting and somebody says, "Oh, you okay?" "Oh, I'm good. I'm good." No, you're not. You're not good. But that's our defense mechanism. We're good. And so when you realize that you're really not good, it's okay to say that you're not good. It's okay to say that, you know what? I've been hurt before. I found myself in a situation, and the situation did not turn out good. And right now, I'm really trying to just pick up the pieces in my life. I'm trying to gather myself back together. And it's okay. It's okay to say that, because one thing that I often say, and this is one of my mottos coming from a tattered past, is I may be broken, battered, cracked, and chipped, but I am still dipped in destiny. There's still destiny in me. And so, even though I have these little pieces, if I give all of the fragments of my broken heart, my broken life, my tattered past, if I give those pieces to God, He is the only one that can take just the littlest slither of my life that is fragmented and put it back together again. He is the only one that can make me whole. I cannot look for Him to make me whole. I cannot. He cannot look for me to make him whole. God has to do that. He has to make us whole. We can help each other, but I can't make him whole. I can complete him in some areas when we're connected, but I cannot make him whole. And so that's what we have to understand. Stop looking for somebody else to make you whole. Stop looking
Amen.
for somebody else to do these things for you. Look to God and be honest about where you are. He knows where you are. He already knows where you are. So stop lying to yourself and saying, I'm good. Because when you're not good, you're just not good. And when you're honest enough to tell God, God, I'm not good, this hurts. It hurts in this place right here. And when you can open up your mouth and say that, you're giving Him something to work with.
Yes, you can give it, but in order to give him something to work with, you got to work with yourself, because he's always there for you. But will you allow yourself to receive what he has for you?
Yes.
See, and that's being honest with yourself. See, I want this, but I don't need that
Yes.
at that time.
Yes.
Not saying that's not for me, but not right now. We have to look in the mirror and really be okay with what you see, because you didn't come here with a twin. At least we didn't.
Right.
And, when I look in the mirror, I got to be happy with what I see in the mirror.
Ooh.
When I look in the mirror and I see what I see, I smile. If I look in the mirror and I'm not happy with it, how can I allow this or present this to somebody else and think they're going to be happy with it if I'm not happy with it?
Yes. Now that is a very good point, because so many times in relationships we lose ourselves. We
Mm-hmm.
lose ourselves. Our self-esteem gets rolled over with the steamroller. Our Who we once thought that we were, when we thought we were beautiful, when we thought, we were that, all of a sudden, all it takes is one thing to happen in our life, in a relationship, and we begin to look at ourselves differently. We begin to ask ourselves questions like, why they didn't love me, why they left me, what was wrong with me, why, why, what does she have that I don't have? And all of these
Or
things,
he.
right, we begin to ask ourselves these questions, and that messes with your mind. When people do stuff like that and they walk out of your life and they do these things, that messes with your mind, and then you begin to start questioning yourself. You start looking at yourself and you be like, yeah, well, I'm ugly, I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that. You begin to talk to yourself, and then you take ownership of those words. Even the words that people may speak to you that tear your self-esteem down. You lose that. You lose your self-esteem, you lose your self-worth, and you begin to take ownership of those words. You allow those seeds to be planted, and then you start looking at yourself differently. Oh, nobody don't want me.
But see, the thing of it is, I often tell our congregants, we have to get a new mindset. We have to reset, recalibrate, and change our mindset, because you know what? If I don't love what I see in the mirror, I can't want you to love what you see in front of your eyes.
Exactly.
If I don't have the confidence in myself, how can I expect you to like, desire, or want to be with what you see? Because I'm not feeding you strength. I'm allowing you to see weakness. And
Mhm.
there's no weakness in me with that right there. Learn to look at yourself and see it is what it is. We ain't 21, 25 no more.
Right.
We in 60s, and things change. But you know what? You better be happy with the change.
Yes.
Because you know what? I look good.
Yes.
Look here. I'm not six pack. I'm three. But I'm good. Because I'm me. But when you trying to hold on to what was
Yes.
instead of what is, you fooling yourself. You lying to yourself.
Yes.
Because you know what? I've heard them say for many years, they're aging gracefully. Yeah, you're supposed to slow down and smell the roses and drink the coffee and admire what God has done for you in your life.
Yes.
Because you know what? A lot of people didn't make it. A lot of people don't look like what you look like. And if you just take a moment to look around and just drive and see, you know what? You ain't doing bad at all.
Exactly.
Because what God made was good and very good. Now, if you don't appreciate that He woke you up, if you don't appreciate that He allowed you to do what you chose to do, you put that fork up there a little too many times and then decided to walk. That was your choice. Be happy with what you made. But the same way you made it, you can make a difference.
Yes.
So don't get mad if somebody else get a parrot head because he with it. Ain't nothing wrong with your neck. And you can look too. But learn to look at you and be happy with what you have.
Yes.
Get to live from what somebody else thinks about you and start thinking about yourself
Yes.
and be real with yourself.
Yes.
This is me. This is who I am. And if this is not what you like, then you should not be here. Because I can start pointing out some things too.
Exactly.
But I accepted you for who you are, and that's who I love.
And that is so true because, you often say something, and I really didn't think about it until just now. We have conversation and we talk about everything, y'all. So the thing is, when we got together, I was like maybe 120, 125, 30 pounds maybe, and I am beyond that now. And so he often says, one thing about it, when you get with a person and you grow with that person, we change, life changes. And if I love you whether you're 120 or beyond. It's not about what I see physically. It's about what is in my heart. It's about what I have for you. And so if you marry somebody or you're in a relationship with them because they're the Coca-Cola bottle, or they got the six pack, all of that stuff gonna droop, it's gonna drop. They're gonna be tucking it up, pulling it up, pinning it up. All of those things are going to happen because life changes. And so, if that's what you're looking for, and if that's what you're impressing upon someone else, that okay, you were this when we got together as teens or in our early 20s or what have you, and now that we are well beyond 50 and our life has changed, body has changed, we have gotten fat and happy together. Now, don't try to put pressure on me and say, okay, well, I want you to go back to when you was in the 20s, child, please. Because people will think something is really wrong if we go back to that. But when we have grown together, this is what we have to understand. I did not get with you because of what you look like. I did not get with you because of how you dress. I did not get with you because of those things. I got with you because I saw your heart. Because I felt the love, I had the love, you gave the love, you showed the love. That is why I got with you. I didn't get with you for all this other stuff. So when we get fat and happy together, we just fat and happy together. Okay, well, you don't have the six pack anymore. You got a three pack. And I might not be the Coca-Cola bottle. I might be a 2 liter if you ask some people. But whatever it is,
It's mine.
Right. And
And,
it's mine.
and here's the thing, y'all. When you're together and you started off Coca-Cola Wild, six pack, all that, Mr. Muscles, all this,
Right.
25, 30 years later, you still see that same thing. Only difference is it's a lot more of it. And you're happy with that because I grew to be with you this way. We grew together. So I still see my baby. You
Yeah.
understand me? I tell her all the time, I to leave and be with somebody else, it ain't gonna work. Because I didn't make that. I didn't grow with that. It's gonna have to be a special one, and God gonna have to put it right in my lap. And if we go, I love for us to go together because I don't want to be by myself without you. You
Yes.
see? So when I see her, I still see my baby. That's all I see.
Yes.
That's the thing.
Yes.
So that's love the one you with if you truly love yourself, and then you can love them.
Yes.
Then
And
the healing can begin.
yes, and that is so true. Our hearts never Our hearts never changed. They never outgrew one another. Even though we put on extra pounds, a little extra weight here and there, hearts never change. And that's what we have to understand. When you truly love somebody and you really want to heal and be made whole, you have to trust them. You have to be truthful
Hmm.
and you have to be transparent, because one of the things that we know is that when we love each other and we're truthful and we're transparent, we can then let the healing begin. When we realize that it's not going to happen by accident,
Amen.
but it happens on
On
purpose
purpose.
and intentional. So we thank you guys for joining us tonight, and we hope that you will join us. We'll be back here on the first Sunday at 8 p.m. We love the conversation tonight. We love the interaction,
Action.
and we want you to come back. Come back and join us for Let the Healing Begin. We will see you guys on the first Sunday. Have an awesome, awesome night and a great week.
You've been
And let
tuned
the
in to
healing.
Let the Healing Begin, where we heal, grow, and rise through the Word of God. We pray tonight's show blessed your heart. Now let the healing continue. You came in heavy, carrying the pain, but God stepped in and called your name. What was broken, He can restore. He's opening, healing like never before.